Aha, welcome. I had trouble getting on today, but I'm happy to see that we are live. Welcome. I hope that you all are doing well. Before we get started, this looks like a pickle pillow. It's actually a cactus pillow, but I call it the pickle. You're going to want to prop a pillow of some kind for doing our restorative work at the end. We'll do legs on a chair or the wall, if you like that inversion with legs on the wall, for a supported shoulder stand followed by the supported fish. So grab your props and meet me on your mat. All right, so we're going to start in sitting. Come onto the floor. And we're going to take legs at a wide angle, so heels away from each other. And let's start with just a little bit of hands on the floor. Now, when your toes are pointed away, you're not getting the same amount of stretch. So just point the toes away from you like that a little bit. Walk to wherever your edge is. And if your knees are a little bit bent, you could try taking your heels in a little more. Try to get those knees straight if you can. Good. And then we're going to walk back. Next round, pull your toes toward you a little more. Create that flex. Sit tall, hands on the floor. And then walk forward a little bit if you can. Now, if your edge is to just stay right there, then you're just working to get those hamstrings to say hello. And then point and flex. Good. And back up to sitting and hold your stir stick, interlacing your fingers. And let's sit forward and circle. So we're saying good afternoon, good morning, whatever it is when you're watching this, as we take a conversation into the lower body. Let's go back the other way, circle. Good. And then back to the center. Good, so let's bring our feet together so that the bottoms of the feet touch, and take the feet away from you and lean forward a bit. So first we're starting with a little bit of length between you and your feet. Just saying good morning to the hips and the lower back perhaps as well. And come back up to sitting straight and walk those feet towards you a little more. And once again, no bouncing or forcing. Just let gravity work to pull those knees down toward the floor. Wherever they are for you is fine as you meet your hip girdle, your inner hamstring. Good. And then hold on to your feet or to your ankles and lean forward again and bring elbows to the knees or calves. So we're just moving into another opening stretch. And breathe. It always feels good to get into tight places with breathing so that the body knows that you are conscious and participating. You're not asking the body to do something at an unconscious, demanding level. You are being a nurturing participant in the stretch. And then release, and let's take the legs straight out and shake out the legs. So that gave us a little bit of opening to sit on the floor. Use a prop, a pillow under the seat bones if you need that support, or sit in any way that's comfortable to you. And sit tall. Lift the heart so that you're sitting down into your seat bones. And let's bring the fingertips to touch and begin to take that inward direction for a moment. So we're going to do a centering, closing the eyes or gently looking down at the floor. Now follow the breath. There's a cycle of breath. It makes a circle of the inhale cycling into the exhale. And it's very meditative to even imagine a circle of the breath circling into the body and then circling back out. It's the two parts of the breathing process. Now lengthen that part of the circle that moves in. Just take a deeper breath and lengthen that half of the circle that is breathing out so that your circle is deeper and a little wider as you circle the breath in and out. And then plant your seeds of intention for today. So name for yourself why you are here, taking this time for yoga practice and why you're meeting yourself. What qualities do you value from this type of experience that you're creating for you? What are your goals? And then plant them in the heart, just like you would plant the seed in the ground and plant seeds in the mind, so that your feelings and your thoughts can continue to blossom your intentions for well-being. And when you're ready now, gently open your eyes. So practicing a little bit of that centering practice on a regular basis is really helpful when you need to tune back in to your own well of wisdom. And by practicing doing that ahead of time, you're able to really tap into it and return to peace and calm much more quickly than if you get triggered in life happening and you don't practice centering. So hopefully that felt good to you and you're learning to create that path to the inner space. Great. So we're going to come to the table pose on your hands and knees. So working into the table, and we're going to work with the wrists today to bring flex in as well as flexing the spine. So we start with the fingers pointing forward and you're in the table pose. Good. We're going to drop the belly as you lift the chin and the tailbone. Inhale as you flex. Now exhale, tuck the chin and tailbone, pull the belly up in toward the spine. Inhale, flex. Exhale as you round the back. Good. Now come back to flat back. Fingers point away from each other. So we're just changing the way we're putting pressure into the hands and the wrists. And we're going to once again flex, inhale, lifting the chin and tailbone. Exhale and round. Breathe in, flex. And exhale and round. Nice mindful movement of the spine. Back to neutral, flat back. Let's point the fingers toward each other. And try to keep those elbows straight. Okay. And you might feel that work that we're creating in the hands and the wrists. If it feels too intense, then go back to fingers pointing forward. Okay, listen to your body. Let's do another round of flexing and rounding. And one more flex. Inhale and round. Good. And then back to fingers pointing forward for our final set. Now, if you can, you want to turn those hands backwards, you can point the fingers towards you. But if you haven't created a lot of flexibility in the wrist, then don't strain. Remember that you're doing good work right here. Let's flex, inhale. Exhale as you round. Breathe in and flex. And exhale around. Good. All right, so we're warming up the spine. Let's do our side to side crunch. Right ear and hip crunch toward each other, and you can look toward the right as well with the eyes. So it's just getting that extra bit of work to talk to the vagus nerve. Breathe. Inhale now to the center, and then crunch the left hip and the ear toward each other and look toward the left with the eyes. Don't forget to breathe. And then back toward the center. Sit back towards your heels and let's just walk out the fingertips away from you and get that extended child pose in. Good. And then come onto your forearms. We're just going to do a little shoulder stretching. So right fingertips walk away from you. You're on the left forearm. And you're just opening up the right shoulder, armpit, and shoulder blade. Breathe. And walk that hand back. And then we're going to walk the left fingertips away from you, straightening out that arm, and get a nice lengthening stretch into the left armpit, shoulder, and shoulder blade. Long, deep breaths with this. We want to fuel that suggestion to open. And we're also getting a little bit of spinal work even right here. Bring a little length into the spine. And then release back and come back up to the table. Good. Let's go into our balancing pose. We're going to take the right hand out and then step your left toes back behind you. You can stay right there or lift the left heel. Reach out through the fingers and toes. Find a point to gaze at in front of you to help to steady you. Building bone, building core strength and upper body strength. Good. Release back down. The table and the left fingers reach out. Step the right toes back and lift the right heel. Reach out through the fingers and through the toes. Breathe. Holding that good strength. Good. And then release back down. All right. So I wanted to stand next so you can come through a squat if that works for you, or any way that's good to come up to standing. You can come onto 2 feet and then roll right up, stacking the spine, coming up to standing. All right, feel how good it feels to have 2 legs today. Our legs and our hips are the foundation of the body. Let's warm up the joints. So bring your feet a little closer together and bend the knees. Let's just make some circles. Take some nice breaths with that. And then we're going to go back the other way. Good. And then come up to standing. Let's just do a little bit more for the hips now that we're standing. So circles with the tailbone. And then circle back the other way. So we're just doing that little hula hooping move, which helps warm up all those connective tissues. Good. Good. Relax the arms. Let's circle the shoulders back, up and back. Making some circles. And release, and we're going to go forward, up and forward. Just rolling the shoulders. Good. And then dropping the chin down toward the chest. Feel that length in the back of the neck. And then we're going to lift the chin, wrap the lower lip around the upper lip. Opening up the throat. Good. Back to the center. And circles with the nose. Circling like you have a pencil on the end of the nose, nice wide circles. drawing those big circles to bring fluid into the back of the neck. Let's go back the other way. Circle. Great. All right, so we're going to do shaking the bones, and we want to start with shaking the hands. This is just really great for getting the body prepared both physically and energetically for flowing and being in a correct mode to bring you health and well-being. Adding the arms, shake it all out, and then shrug the shoulders as well. So we're just shaking it off, shaking it off. Good. And then bounce. So now between the shoulders and arms, torso and legs, everything is moving. Just shaking it out. Good job. Keep it going. Now breathe with it though. It's just regular breaths, but notice if you're holding your breath, okay? Because sometimes when you're doing something very, very powerful, there's that sense of holding the breath. We want to breathe while we are moving the body in this way, shaking. All right, and then release that. So you may feel tingling, energy moving, just a sense of alivening coming into the body. We're enlivening the body and we're releasing stuckness. All right, and then we're going to take that into our empty coat sleeves. Look behind you. And you can step a little wider if you want for that. Good. The body appreciates that you are preparing to go into deeper work. So these little increments of going deeper and deeper into a conversation has very powerful results when it comes to the new level of trust you're creating between you and your physical body. So that's a very, very, very important relationship. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go right into our some standing movement today. So bring your feet about hip width apart. Stand in the center of your mat. Palms in front of the heart. We're going to circle around and bring arms up along your ears. Half move to the right. Pick out that left hip. A little more side flex for the spine. Inhale, center, and over to the other side. Stretch and center. Now step to the right. And you can bend the knees just a little bit into your goddess pose, sitting down, or you can sit down deeper. So wherever your edge is, remember to honor your needs and find a good place to create strength in the legs. Long, deep breaths here. 5-pointed star. Arms and legs straighten out. And I'm going to turn the feet to the right. So the right foot 90 degrees, the left foot turns about 45 degrees. Arms in a T. Kick out that left hip, reach, and come into that triangle. So hand can start at the knee as you reach up. Make sure ear, shoulder, and leg are lined up. So if you're leaning forward, find that alignment and anchor into the back heel. Now keep your right rib cage lifted away from the floor and lengthen through the top of your head as you work down the leg. So wherever your edge is, even if it's at the knee, just keep that nice intention to be in alignment as the most important thing, more than forcing the body to go into some idea of a more advancing triangle. So when you line up, you actually create a very powerful conversation that is opening the body up in all directions from the middle here in our triangle pose. Now you can look straight ahead and you can look up at the hand in the air. The thumb should be right over that left eye. It's okay to look straight ahead. Then we're going to bring that arm behind you. So left arm tucks behind, rotate the rib, up toward the ceiling and drop that left shoulder down and back. So you want to open the torso a little more, breathing with it. And then take the arm back up. If that shoulder feels better with the arm tucked behind you. Some people don't do well with raising that arm up, then you have a variation. Breathe with it. Press into your feet, back up to standing. Turn the feet forward, sit down into your goddess pose. Straighten those legs here. 5-pointed star. Turn the feet now to the left. So the left foot goes 90, the right foot 45 degrees. Kick out the right hip, reach toward the left, and paddle. Good. And wherever you find that place that really has a conversation that you can breathe with, you're doing good work lining the left shoulder, ear, and leg up so that you're in a straight line, not moving forward. Good. Now keep that steady breath. Tuck the arm behind you. Right arm tucks behind, right shoulder rolls back and down a bit toward the back, and look up or straight ahead. Whatever works for you, breathe. And the arm back up. Press into your feet. Good. 5-pointed star. Sit down into your goddess. And deeper into grounding, into strengthen the lower body. Good. Then we're going to step the right foot and left foot back into about hip width apart and do our final half moon side stretch to the right. Inhale and over to the left. Stretch and breathe. Back to the center. Circle the palms all the way back around to the heart. Good. All right, continuing to work with strength of the legs today. Let's go into some foot rolls. This is strengthening and creating flex in feet and ankles and calves. I'm turning sideways so you can see me. You're going to come up onto your toes. Okay? And then when you come down with control, roll back down. So you inhale, come up onto the toes. Exhale down. We're going to add arms for balance. So you're going to inhale up. Exhale, roll down. Now continue that work if you're doing good there. If you have a wall you can come to, if you bring yourself almost to arm length, a little further away, you can come up onto your toes, you'll bounce onto the wall, lower down with control. So if you really know that you have to strengthen your ankles, then you're going to continue with the wall as a support system. Let's do 3 more rounds. Inhale up, roll back down. Inhale, come onto the toes, roll it back down. And then 1 more. Get up onto those toes, and then with mindfulness, lower the heels back onto the floor. Last round now, we're going to just take those toes, come up onto the toes and stay there. Now move the arms to the right, but keep the hips forward. Back to the center, and arms to the other side. You're still up on the toes, back to the center, and lower back down with control. Now, if those were challenging for you, you can use the wall as a prop, and you can also just work on creating that lift up onto the toes and releasing back down. And you might already be feeling that in the feet, ankles, and calves. So it's a very powerful work, and it goes along with our goddess pose to create that strong foundational lower body strength. Okay, great. All right, let's take the feet wider. We're going to do our breath of joy here. Get some oxygen in. So it's 3 sniffs in through the nose, 1 long exhale through the mouth. Let's go. Breathe in, in and ha, in, in, and out, and one more, breathe and ha. Terrific. All right, so we did our upper body work. We want to work on the spine today. So what we're going to do is start with some repatterning work, or some good patterning work, we'll call it, by coming onto the floor on your belly. Now, to create and maintain good patterns, we're going to do a series of movements that protect the back while we work the spine, while we flex the spine. So let's take that right elbow, and you're going to bend it, and you're going to lay your left cheek down so you can look at your right elbow. The left arm is at your side. Here's the line down with the palm facing up on that left arm. Now the feet are resting comfortably about hip width apart. And we're just going to work the upper body. So you're going to inhale and lift the whole arm and the head and the chest up. Exhale it back down. Now this configuration, inhale, lift, exhale, lift, is helping to create strength and a certain good pattern for the neck, the shoulder, and the upper back. So we want to just keep working with the breath with this. Inhale, lift up, exhale, lower. The whole right arm is lifting up as you lift the head, the chest. Good, and release back down. Let's do one more. Breathe in and lift, and then exhale, and this time just rest. You can bring your other arm around, forehead resting on the hands or forearms. Just breathe here in neutral. We're going to turn the head to the, look at the right elbow again. Left arm comes to your side. My cheek is resting on the top of the right hand. This time we're going to add the opposite lift in the lower body. So inhale, right arm up and left leg up. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. And lower down and exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Now when you do opposites, you're actually creating safety for the back and spine. Breathe. You do one more set with that opposite configuration. So it's the right arm lifting and the left leg. Let's go. Inhale, lift, and lower. Inhale, exhale. Let's do one more. Breathe in and out. Good. And then we're just going to press back to the child's pose. You're going to come through the table and round the back. You feel the rounded spine and how good that really can be for integrating that work into the back. Good. And remember, if you need to do those separately, do the upper body with the elbow bent and then lift the opposite leg, do them separate if you know that you're building strength and flexibility. So there's always variations to be right where you need to be. Okay? I'm going to do the other side. Just turn it around so you can see that my left elbow is bent, and I'm going to rest my right cheek on the left hand. Good. And the right arm is down at your side. Inhale, just the upper body, head and chest and arm up. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Lower down, and this time completely rest. Now we're repatterning the upper and lower back by the time we do the whole process of upper and lower on opposite sides. Let's do one more round. Right cheek comes to the left hand. You're looking at that bent left elbow. Inhale and breathe it out as you lower. We're also crunching the kidneys and adrenals while we do this. So we're doing great work for recovering from fight or flight, which is just the more programmed part of our nervous system. We want to tone it and keep it healthy, keep ourselves in balance. Okay, rest. And then we're going to add the opposite leg. So you're going to lift the right heel up as you lift the left arm and lower it all back down. Breathe in as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Try to keep that leg straight. So you're lifting the heel of a straight leg. And lower. Good. Resting. We'll do one more set. So the rest helps the body receive those new patterns or those better patterns so that we keep them strong in the body. Let's do one last set. Lifting lower and upper body at the same time and release. Inhale, exhale, one more. Breathe in and out. Good. And then just press back through the table and sit into the child's pose and round the back. So in flexing the spine, we always want the counter stretch so we create balance. We flex and then we round. We're going to come back onto the belly. We're going to do cobra and then seal pose. So bring your feet to the floor so the tops of the feet are planted down. Hands are under the shoulders, fingers pointing forward, elbow tucks in toward the ribs. And then we actually create a conscious movement of the spine. So we lift the forehead, the nose, the chin, and the chest. Now in Cobra, you're just finding your best edge. Feet are planted, hips are planted down to the floor, reach to the top of the head. Make sure that it's a lift more than a press. Don't be forcing the spine more than where it will go without jamming the lower back. So you want to always take care when you're doing spine work for strengthening and flexibility. If this is your edge, you're doing great work right there. Just breathe with it. Feel the buttocks is tightening because we're working the glutes. We're supporting the lower back to be in this flex. So wherever your edges are free. Now the releasing is the same. Follow the pattern. Tuck the chin, the nose, the forehead, and feel the buttocks, legs, and back relax and rest. Long, slow, deep breaths here. Just breathe in because those good patterns are still anchoring into the body. So the next pose, take your feet a little wider on your mat. Tops of your feet pressing down. Hands come to the corners of your mat. And now you're going to come up into the seal. Now, once again, if this feels like it's jamming the spine too much, this is our seal pose. You're coming up into a little bit more of a back bend. Feel how the hips and pubic bone and lower body are all anchored down. You lift up through the top of the head, press the collarbone forward, and we're getting that good work to nurture strength and flexibility in the spine. If you need to be in Cobra for round 2, then that is your better edge. You're just listening to what is best for your lower back. When you lower, tuck the chin, nose, and forehead, and just rest on your forearm. And after we relax, just for that moment of release, we're going to sit back toward the heels and round it all back out again. Good. So we're continuing to create, this is all yoga for the spine. We're creating strength in the spine, strength in the back, and flex in the spine. So now we're going to bring knees into chest, roll onto the back, massage out the back after that good work. And we're going to go into our bridge pose. So feet to the floor. Good. First, we're going to give a little bit of warm up to the low back. So we're going to press the flatten the low back down into the floor. So you take that arch in the lower back and press it flat. You're pressing it down and then relax it. Let's do two more. Flatten the low back down. And then relax. One more. Pressing the low back down to the floor. We're just lengthening it out to make sure we give it the proper attention before we do more back bending. And then release. Good. One more knees to chest, round the back. So this is how you nurture the spine. If you have any low back sensitivity or pain along the spine, gentle variations of what we're doing in today's work is going to, over time, create blood flow, strength, positive patterning that releases old patterns where you might have weakness or muscle shortness where it needs to be balanced. All right, so let's go into our bridge. Press the feet down. Press the hips up toward the ceiling. Good. And you can bring your arms to your sides, tuck them under your body, interlacing the fingers. Or you can take those arms over your head, resting them on the floor. Press down in your feet, lift the hips up toward the ceiling. Breathe. And hold a ball of air between the knees so that you get those legs really working together. You want those knees to be in a nice alignment. Breath is steady. When you lower, it's a mindful return of the spine to the floor. Rolling back down onto the floor. When the tailbone grounds, feel the lower back just sprawl into the supported floor. And then bring knees into the chest and around the back. And we're going to work on our secretary twist today, a nice supported twist for the spine lying down. So we're going to take the right leg, cross it all the way over the left bent knee, just like when you're sitting in a chair. Arms are in a T. Good. Drop your knees over to the right as you look over to the left fingertips. The shoulder blades stay planted into the floor. So try not to let that left shoulder blade lift off the floor. Keep it planted. And that right leg over the left leg is creating a nice anchoring. Go deeper into a supported twist here. Breathe. Now don't unwrap the legs. Just bring them up to the center line and then drop over to the other side. Drop to the left and we'll go over to the right fingertips and just come into a nice supported twist here on this side. Breathe. I hope this is feeling yummy for your spine. All that nice flexing and rounding, and now we move into twisting. Breathe. Come back to the center. Then we're going to switch to the other side. So unwrap that right leg. Right foot comes to the floor. Take the left leg, cross it all the way over the right bent knee. We're going to drop to the left first. So you anchor that right leg with the left leg on top, and you're just going to drop down as you look over to the right fingertips. Keep the right shoulder blade planted into the floor. Breathe. You might feel this opening up the hip, the low back, even the rib cage. We're getting that nice breathing into it as we stretch. And then back to the center. And then drop the knees to the right and look over to the left fingers. Long, slow, deep breath. back to the center. Good. Unwrap the leg and knees to chest. Chin to chest. So round the whole back. Good. Drop the feet to the floor. We're going to take the feet twice as wide as the hips. So we're going to just take a nice wide stance and then drop the right bent knee down toward the center line. And really stretch here in this hip, outer hip, and lift that back up. And let's drop the left knee down to the center line and back to neutral. One more each side. Just stretch the thighs, stretch the hip, breathe. And the other side. Left knee drops to the center. Good. All right, and then you're going to rock up to sitting or roll to one side and nurture yourself up into sitting. Okay? Hopefully your spine is feeling just so delighted that you're taking this time to meet it with good patterns. A regular work of this type of routine is going to create and maintain good patterns in the neck, the shoulder girdle, and all the way down the spine. So I hope that felt really good for you today. Good. All right, so let's just move into a forward bend here. Feet extending out, legs out. Good. We're going to reach up or reach out, depending on what works for you. Take the upper body out over the lower body. Good, and then just find your edge. So if you can touch your toes, fine. If you're here at the shins or knees, lift the heart first. Feel how by lengthening the spine, you activate the hamstring stretch. Pull the toes towards you, and then we're going to point away. And pull towards you and point. Good. Now find your edge. Just moving into your edge. And if it is still tight, then you're relaxing the knees, the kneecaps, the thighs, the shoulders. So you're going to relax with it at a comfortable edge. Don't force hamstrings. The softer edge is actually the success here because hamstrings are like bristling meat and they're very tough. So we want to ease into a conversation with you. Lift the chest one more time, still staying in your hamstring stretch. Relax the knees, relax the thighs, and then go forward into wherever you can go. Breathe into some length here as we wind up our practice today. Roll back up to sitting, just sit tall. And then find however you're comfortable to sit. We're just going to move back into a little bit of centering meditation after the work we've done today. So find however you're comfortable to sit and bring the left palm up and the right palm down. Good. Lift the heart. Now just go inward. Notice what is emerging. Notice what you feel from doing that spinal work. Spinal work and working with strength and flexibility along the spine is very powerful. And you might feel an even greater sense of being able to find your center, of feeling strong, feeling present. Notice any qualities that might have emerged that you really value. Receiving the message or the inspiration that comes from creating more strength and flexibility along the spine. Okay, it's time to move into our restorative work. So get your chair. Or if you're going to do legs on the wall, go to legs on the wall. We're going to go into now taking everything that we've done in good patterning a little deeper into the part of the nervous system that heals the body. So you sit next to the chair or the wall, take your feet up and relax. Arms should be away from the body a bit so that the shoulders are able to completely relax. Shoulders away from the ears. And hopefully, whatever powerful internal recognition you had from the nurturing and strengthening of the spine and the back is still with you as you now come into this shift into restoring, repairing, and rejuvenating. Let the whole body become heavier as now you surrender to gravity. And you can actually subtly feel how the femurs, the thigh bones, are shifting down into the hip sockets as the legs are inverted. And that's helping the hip girdle and the lower back to really ground into softening and releasing anything that might be stuck patterning. The legs are suspended, so your feet, ankles, knees, hips are all in anti-gravity, creating a little more spaciousness in the joints. You're bringing circulation and blood flow into a different conversation to purify all the systems. The nervous system is cooling down, repairing, recharging. I say this is like plugging your cell phone into charge, but the cells we're working on are your physical body, every level, every layer. The breath naturally shifts into a longer, slower, deeper rhythm, supporting the body to recover. Deep breathing and receiving here. And then when you feel ready, you're going to draw knees into the chest and transition up to sitting. Slowly coming back to the head at the top of the body. So as you come back up to sitting after an inversion, like supported shoulder stand, you're going to notice that you may feel a little more open. We brought blood flow to the brain, to the thyroid, to the heart, all the organs. And then it feels very refreshing to come back to the normal position into gravity. Now we're going to take our pillow. So whatever pillow you have, I'm using the Pickle today. I'm going to bring that lengthwise. If you have a square pillow, that's fine. If you have a rectangle or you're using a pillow from your bed, it's lengthwise. And we're just going to bring that pillow to rest around the middle of the shoulder blades. And you just want to scooch around until you can bring your head just off the edge of the pillow. So it's supporting the occipital ridge, the neck, the throat is open, the chest is lifted, the legs are extended out. You're just going to bring arms to your sides again, away from the body. This is rolling open and softening the shoulders, opening the collarbone and throat, the chest and belly. And you can feel how the back is supported, which is just so delicious for the spine after all of that wonderful flexing and twists that we did to create that healthy pattern. Breathe and relax. Supported fish pose. Very calming for the nervous system. Helps to soften any patterning and armoring that we have in the heart, the rib cage, the shoulder girdle. And this all really supports the flexibility of the spine. The cycle of the breath is that nice circle. Inhale, belly expanding, and then the exhalation, emptying it all back out. And of course, with both legs on the chair and supported fish, you can hold these poses longer, 20 minutes of each or 10 minutes of each. You're just using them to integrate all of those good patterns at the end of our series with our spine strengthening and flexibility today. So when you're ready, you're just going to release yourself off of your prop and then come up to sitting. Right? Sit however you're comfortable. Just another moment of left palm up, right palm down, checking in now. So you'll notice every time you check in, it's like dipping a cup into the river. You're going to notice what is significantly emerging now in my experience. What qualities do you notice? How has there been a shift and what do you value? Receiving the benefits of your work and plugging them into your own well-being. And then bringing palms together in front of the heart in prayer pose, honoring now the peace and calm, harmony, strength, wisdom, and flexibility within you. May the merit of this practice benefit your own well-being and the well-being of those around you. Peace, peace, and only peace. Gently open your eyes. Namaste. All right, I hope your spine feels terrific and your back is nice and loose as you have brought more air, more of that breathing into flexing and rounding and twisting today. Be safe, be well.